Because remember, leadership is influence. And even those who are selfish seem to influence other people. The difference is leaders who attract followers like to feel needed. Leaders who develop leaders like to be succeeded. So a leader who's developing other leaders are simply thinking about how can I develop this person to be me or greater than me? They want to be succeeded. The leader who only attracts followers needs to feel needed. So they never really want this person to be self-sufficient because then they don't need them.
Wow.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven and family-focused and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Traci Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Self-Talk Experience, where the things you say to yourself about yourself will eventually determine who and what you attract for yourself. Yes?
Yes, that's absolutely right. And we're excited to be here for another Self-Talk Experience. So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I'm thinking that we can do an episode about leadership. And you're the perfect person to talk about leadership. You're an amazing leader for our family and for our team and our business. So maybe can you give us just some quick tips about leadership? How do you lead? How do you even begin to be an amazing leader?
Yeah, that's
I feel like I went right in. Like
You did. Let me just say this. First of all, thank you. I appreciate the compliments and the kind words. And leadership is influence. And
that's good.
And nothing more, nothing less. It is influence. The ability to influence people to do things they otherwise wouldn't have done without you, without your presence, without your words, without your encouragement. And so leadership, I would ask for folks to define, what characteristics do you feel a good leader should have?
That's so funny because when I posted for Father's Day, what I said, it was just really quick. And I said, thank you for being the person who pushes all of us to be better. And that's just what you said.
Yeah.
It's the influence.
Yeah. And thank you. I think it's important for people to define what characteristics they feel a great leader should have, and then ask themselves and look in the mirror to say, do I have any of those?
Right.
Because the first person you want to lead is yourself. Right? Because remember, when you're influencing others, you're influencing based on who you are. Right. So the level of influence you have is based on what you're able to get people to do, what you are able to get people to do. And if you don't feel like you have the ability to get people to do anything, then you feel like you're not a leader. So the first person we have to really help to become the leader before you can lead others is you. Right. So you have to really look within and say, am I leading me? Am I even willing to follow me? I don't have any of those guys. I'm not loyal to anybody. I feel, because listen, great leaders are different than those who are people who just want to follow for the rest of their lives. And some people are like, hey, look, I'm fine just following. Some people follow so that they can be a great leader.
Yes.
Okay. The second part of this is that some leaders attract followers and other leaders develop leaders. So when we talk about leadership, there's different levels of leadership.
Right. I just think that one of the attributes a leader has to have is not being selfish and not thinking of just themselves, because a real leader wants for everyone else almost more than they want for themselves. And you can't be a selfish person if you're going to be a leader.
Yeah. Well, so check this out. Yeah. Well, let's check out, because remember, leadership is influence. And even those who are selfish seem to influence other people. The difference is leaders who attract followers like to feel needed. Leaders who develop leaders like to be succeeded. So a leader who's developing other leaders are simply thinking about how can I develop this person to be me or greater than me? They want to be succeeded. The leader who only attracts followers needs to feel needed. So they never really want this person to be self-sufficient because then they don't need them.
Wow.
This is why leaders who attract followers treat everyone the same. Same message for everybody, same delivery, but the leaders who develop other leaders, these leaders treat everyone differently.
Well, that's kind of like the training we do about our children.
Yep.
They're different, so you have to treat them differently.
Yep, so true.
But you're saying if you were that type of leader that you just spoke about, it wouldn't matter the personality of our kids because you would just treat them all the same.
That is
and just rule the household the same for everyone.
That is absolutely correct.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So just because you're an unethical, let's call it, leader doesn't mean you're not a leader.
Yeah.
There are people who are unfortunately getting over on other people out here in the world right now who still are they're influencing people to buy from them. And it's not even legit. Right? There's somebody who keeps I don't know what you even call it, but they keep mimicking me on social media. Like it's all these different imposters.
I think it's more than one person at this point.
Like it's every time we report it, there's someone else who comes out. It could be the same person. It could be who knows. But my point is, this person is influencing people using my name to get people to purchase things.
Right.
So, but they're using my name to get them to do it.
Well, that's a compliment.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, do they have influence? Not really using my influence.
Right.
So they really don't have influence because otherwise they would just come out with their own name. Like, hey, here's who I am and I need you to buy this. But people aren't buying from them. So they have to be me in order to influence them.
We have to get you your blue check. Just as a sidebar, if there's anyone out here that can get my husband his blue check, please.
No, but look, legitimately though.
Legitimately.
Because there are people who are saying, I can get you the blue check, and they are not legit. This is my point.
Sorry. Disclaimer.
Right?
No, don't do it. I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. So
we still need to get it for you legitimately either way.
Yes. Then no, okay. This is very true. It's very true. Yeah, because then folks will know, oh, that's the imposter. They don't have the blue check. So
they need the real one.
So listen, we're going to spend a few more minutes talking about this because thank you for asking the question about leadership. I do think it's critical when you're leading your family, if you're a coach leading a athletic team, if you're a pastor leading a congregation, it's just so many forms and roles that we play as leaders.
Right.
And one of the keys to leadership is to make sure that you are willing to go the way and show the way. And the only way you can do that is if you know the way. Right. So I sound like Jesse Jackson or something. Like I'm rhyming. I didn't mean for it to come out like that.
Go the way, know the way, show the way.
Yeah. John C. Maxwell used to talk about that all the time. Because, listen, there's some leaders who aren't willing to go the way. They're like, hey, you should be doing this and you should be. It's like,
they're not going to set the example. Right.
But you're not doing that. So great leaders are saying, look, I'll go the way. Right. It's just like some trainers, personal trainers, like, look, let me show you exactly how to do this. So they're willing to show the way. They're willing to actually go the way. I'll work out with you. Because who wants a trainer that doesn't have the stamina? Right. And they're trying to teach you how to have stamina. It's like, dude, you haven't proven to me that you
do 50 push-ups, but I'm not going to be able to do.
Right. And even if they're not doing it with you at that moment, but they can do it. Exactly. Right. So they're willing to go the way, or they have gone the way. And I used to tease people all the time, as an entrepreneur, is that, who wants to listen to a health professor that's not healthy? A health professor is coming into the classroom like with the smoker's cough. I'm like,
not the smoker's cough.
I'm like, dude, you're not teaching health today, right? This is not going to work. But they could, and they may know. You see, this is why they have to go the way, show the way, and know the way.
Right.
It's one thing to know it. A lot of people know it, and this is how they fake it. So you could know it. You just read up on what somebody else did. And it's like, all right, guys. And yes, that can even get you a certain distance. Right. Because you know it, and people are impressed by your knowledge. But because you've never done it yourself, there's only a limit before people start saying, this guy has the book smarts, but he's never, right. Exactly. So great leaders not only know the way, they not only go the way, but they show the way. They're spending time. They're investing in leaders or in other people. John C. Maxwell says this way, leaders who attract followers typically are people who are only willing to spend time with people. It's having fun. But leaders who develop other leaders are willing to invest time with people. And there's a difference in I'm not getting anything from this right now, but I'm going to invest in you.
Right.
Right. This is how, and it takes time. And that's why some people aren't willing to do that. But when you invest time in people, you'd be amazed at what the return can be, because now that person's saying, oh my gosh, my dad, my coach, spent some time with me. And now I'm better because of it.
Right.
Now that testimony allows that leader to have even more people who say, can you lead me next? I'll be next. I'll raise my hand.
Right.
Show me how you help that person do this.
Because you weren't just spending time.
That's right. You invested time with that person. Now you have an example. You have a testimony of someone who says, hey, I saw what you did with that person. Can you help me out with it too? This is why it's tough for some women to follow a man in the relationship, because they don't trust his leadership. Most women will embrace their femininity and say, look, I'm all in. You can lead if they trust the man is going to lead.
Right. Right.
And it's that way in every area. And it's not to take away from the woman. It's not to take away from the man.
Right.
It's to take away from a lack of leadership.
And you have to be able to know when it's there.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is what I'm saying.
There.
But you have to lead yourself first.
Sure.
Right. You have to ask yourself, would I want to follow me? And if not, then we work on us first.
Yes.
Right. Before we start leading everybody else, work on us first. And that takes a little bit of time, but we all can do it. So we invest in us just like we're eventually going to invest in others. Does that help?
That was amazing. Thank you. But you know what? We could, this episode could be longer. It could be more episodes, because there's so many aspects of leadership that we could talk about. We could really delve into it.
Yeah.
But just what you gave us just now is amazing. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys, it's self-talk. So remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves determines who's going to follow us based on the leader that we become within ourselves. See you guys at the next episode.
Know, show, and grow.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Traci Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.
If you've ever started something and said to yourself, I'm not quitting until I reach the finish line, there's a perfect podcast for you. The We Won't Quit podcast by my man, Mike Humes, mailman and millionaire, never gave up. Not only did he have success, but he's helped a ton of other people do the same thing. He's going to be interviewing people who never stopped until they finish. So check it out. We Won't Quit podcast.